Welcome, everybody. This is Matt Seafeld, Executive Vice President at MetaVolve, an effective intelligence company. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about net collection rate. I'm always amazed in this industry how so many practice management systems are not capable of producing that net collection rate in real time. When you start to think about the net charge and the payments that you're actually collecting against the net charge, if you're not above 97%, you've got a problem. You need to understand why you have non-contractual adjustments and what process changes, in some cases people changes, and in some cases technology changes. Most of the time it's all three, will help to grab that extra percent or two or three or more. It's really, really important to look at NCR in two ways. There's zero balance net collection rate, which is literally looking at your zero balance claims and saying, hey, how well did we do? And then there's the open net collection rate. And what that really tells you is how well are you collecting on your account receivable. So if you lag at 60 days, and I say, look, if I go back 60 days from the service date or 60 days from the file date, however your organization looks at it, you should have collected at least 90% of the net charge. Most organizations are not there. There's many reasons why. You've got unpaid self-pay debt that probably should have been collected prior to service. Don't forget about collecting historical self-pay debt before you see the patient again. You've also got our wonderful world of denials. All right, 52% of the denials that we see in our RCM services organization come from front office breakdowns, right? And so that's creating a lot of work on the back office, which is creating AR, which can also impact your net collection rate. So you want to understand two things about net collection rate and what's still out there to collect. One, what's due by the patient, and as important as that is what's due by insurance. Right. And that's really, really important to understand. So you could start to see pockets of receivable that need to be looked at to try to collect from insurance and or patient. So that's really, really important. I also like to look at the net collection rate from a service date, not a post date. So if I want to go back and look at November of 2021, I need to know how many payments have I collected against the charges that were generated by services in that month. And then I need to know what's still out there to be collected from the patient and the insurance. When you start to think of dynamic intelligent reporting like we do in our effective intelligence suite, I need to see net collection rates, open, zero balance. I need to see it by payer. I need to see it by provider. Sometimes I need to see it by location. Maybe I need to see it by payer and location and provider. You have to have dynamic ways in real time to slice this stuff to try to figure out where that remaining money is. And if you're not collecting that 97% or better, why? Another thing that is extremely important is you need to be able to see your non-contractual adjustments compared to the net collection rate, especially on the zero balance, right? You need to understand the adjustments that are being taken against the charge that are avoidable write-offs, bad debt write-offs, charity allowance, right? You've got administrative write-offs, right? Anything that's a non-contractual. You need to be able to see that because that's going to also tell you where you may need to focus to improve your net collection. Make sure you understand how many charges were written off at 100%. That's also something, right? If you start to see large amounts of visits where the entire charge or charges are being written off to non-contractual, you got to be able to isolate those quickly and then figure out why. The last thing I'm going to say about this, and you can tell I'm passionate here, is this all comes down to the transaction codes mapping and the accuracy in which your payment teams are posting those. I can't tell you how many times I'm talking with potential clients who write off denials to contractual. You can't do that. Contractual is contractual, period. Everything else needs to be segmented into the appropriate bucket. And I like to look at administrative, denials, bad debt, and charity allowance. Those are really the four other buckets in addition to contractuals that you need to have. And I would be very specific on the adjustment reason code because you need to be able to understand if it's a no auth denial, a timely filing denial, medical necessity, coding charge entry, et cetera. Make sure that your transaction codes are set up correctly and they're being used correctly. by the people posting.